I'm standing in front of one of the Fletchers' favorite paintings here, and we're about to present a video that was shown at our Salisbury Society event on the 1st of June 2012 to honor the Fletchers. My name is Cliff Shore, and I've been a volunteer here at WAM for 12 years, and I have the honor of serving for the past 3 years as the president of the Board of Trustees. It's been a very busy time for the museum with our new director, Matthias Waschek, with the opening of the Salisbury doors, and with a more aggressive exhibition schedule, and our deeper community engagement through the free summer program. And despite all of that, the best is yet to come. Stephen Salisbury created this institution in the interest of ensuring that future Worcesterites would have a great cultural hall, and it was his generosity that we honor with the Salisbury Society and the Salisbury event. The Fletchers have been great friends to this institution, and I would personally like to thank Warner and Mary for all of their dedication and years of support. And I'd like to also extend my thanks to the Fletcher family for their great support and love. And don't just take my word for it.
But I do remember my parents attending and participating in events at and associated with the museum. And the large impression is how much they enjoyed that involvement. The art museum may not have been a large part of my life at the time, but it was very clear that it was an important part of my parents' lives, and that made it a part of my life. When I was a little older, and I realized what a treasure Worcester had in the museum, I understood why my parents felt so strongly about staying involved. There are so many different ways to support, to sustain, to grow, and to champion the things about which you feel strongly. I think my parents feel very fortunate to have been able to do that for the museum in almost any way you can imagine.
Mary and Warner, it's really my privilege to be able to thank you publicly for everything that you've done for Worcester Art Museum, your generosity, your efforts, and your good humor. When I was first asked to join the Salisbury Society, I was hesitant. I didn't know anyone in Worcester. I was listening, and Warner was speaking, and in his wonderful way, he told anecdotes. He was irreverent, and shortly thereafter, he started to tease me mercilessly. And that really made me feel like I was part of the group. The two of you are so open and so gracious that you've always made me feel included, and that's your true gift, that you make everyone feel included. I also have learned so much about development from Warner. When we sit at the table, first thing I have learned is to get to the letters before Warner does, because he always has the witty remark. You both have embodied and combined what I think is truly what this museum is about, and that's about the personal and the universal. And they both are alive and well here, and I think it's that connection and the connection that we have to the art and to each other that really make this place a special place.
Sarah, you are looking pretty spiffy today.
So are you.
Well, you know you can't come to the museum and talk about Warner and Mary unless you dress up.
Well, we didn't want to come straight out of the garden, even though we were working in the garden today.
Yeah.
And speaking of Mary, she's always the most beautiful, the most beautifully dressed, the most beautifully coiffured. So we have to talk about her paintings now that she interprets for Flora in winter.
Yeah, she's a very good flower arranger, and her flower arrangements are as serene and elegant and understated as she is.
Absolutely, that's true. Yeah.
And we'll never forget the one that was in the Spanish gallery, interpreting the Tree of Jesse. It was just exquisite.
It was, and one of my favorites is The Peasant Girl by Zorn. And the colors in that are so beautiful, and she captured it so perfectly. And the thing that was interesting about that one was the blue vase that she used. That was just perfect for that arrangement.
And Warner is so proud of her.
Oh, always.
Every time they have Flora in winter, he comes up to me and he says, Mary won first prize, didn't she? Well, Mary, you are a class act, and we'd like to extend our congratulations to you and Warner on this very special evening.
Warner was a fine older brother. We grew up in the 50s, and I can say quite confidently that art was not a part of our life in any way. Sports was. He cared deeply about the Red Sox. I don't believe he cared about art. He inherited my father's taste for art, which runs strongly to Vermont landscapes. He grew up, as we all do. He cares deeply about the art museum, which is a wonderful thing. I think it's at issue how much he cares about art itself, but he cares about art in principle.
How fortunate for Worcester that Mary and Warner Fletcher have continued their great family tradition of giving back to the community. Both have been major players in so many of Worcester's cultural and educational institutions, giving so much of their time, their many talents. At the Worcester Art Museum, I've had the great pleasure of working with the Fletcher family for almost 4 decades now. And in my opinion, there's no perfect recipient for the Worcester Art Museum's highest honor, the Salisbury Award, than Mary and Warner Fletcher. Congratulations, Mary and Warner, and many, many thanks from all of us to you and your family for all you've done for Worcester, and especially the Worcester Art Museum.
Once again, we're torn between two loves, Maine and the Art Museum. June 1st is the anniversary of your grandfather's first swim of the summer. Not to be outdone, here we are in Maine. But this evening is all about you and Mary. Our museum, which celebrates art and life, has benefited greatly from your commitment, your energy, and your generosity. You have grown a great deal in your taste since that little table you made for Gramp when you were a young boy, which out of loyalty he kept in his living room till the end of his life. Your birdhouse and our spider web are true artistic achievements. And Mary's Flora arrangements are ones we look for the minute we come into the museum. There's an old native saying, dance your dreams alive, create from your heart's bliss, weave the web you want to live. You and Mary have woven a strong web, and we congratulate you.
You know, they not only are doing great things for the charities that we are working with, but they also seem to be involved in our churches, in our city, and in whatever happens that's good in Worcester, it seems to me that it's that they're involved in some way or other. How do you feel about that, Marianne?
That is too true.
It is kind of surprising that they are so successful in what they do and what they've given and so on, because they've had, life hasn't always been so good. For example, he has gone to a college that I would rank rather low, having gone to one that is its major opponent. He seems to always call me when his team wins. And then, of course...
Because John went to Amherst, and Warner went to Williams.
We have Mary that we mustn't fail to mention, and because it's rather remarkable that a Norwegian girl could have accomplished so much. We Swedes don't feel that the Norwegians are that important, but she has shown us differently. In any event, Mary and that husband of hers are pretty important people. And what can you say, Marianne?
Only that you should have gotten this award a long time ago, and it's great that you are being honored tonight.
And this is the last thank you to you, Warner, and to you, Mary, for your ongoing support for the Worcester Art Museum. You're now joining the illustrious club of Salisbury Award winners. And we thank you for the leadership that you provided and that you hopefully will provide for this museum as we're looking into the future, building on the successes of the past. What is awaiting us in the future? We have the ambition of, within the next 10 years, reaching at least 200,000 visitors a year. We also have the ambition of being even more than we already are, part of the social glue of Worcester, and to have an impact in Worcester and for Worcester in the region. Thank you very much, and let's look forward.
Thank you.
Thanks. Gracias.
Thank you so much.
Faleminderit.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Dankeschön. Thank you.
Thanks so much.
Thank you. Tack så mycket.